Welcome to the Instagram stories for Wednesday, December 21st. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. Do you remember how at the end of the year, we all do this thing on Instagram where we post our top 9 pictures, and oftentimes we have to use that top 9 site, which always gets overwhelmed and flooded, and then we can't create them in time, and then we have to make our own in Canva, and it's a pain in the neck. You can relate. You remember this from last year or the year before that or the year before that. Anyway, Instagram is rolling out a new feature on Reels so that you can create your own end of year wrap. Love it already. Instagram Recap Reels are essentially a customizable reel that you can use to share your favorite memories from the entire year, even if they were not posted to Instagram, which I like. Here's how to make your own. If you open up the Instagram app, you should see something at the top inviting you to make your own 2022 recap reel. If you don't see that, go into Reels, look in the templates area and look for the one that says 2022 recap. If you don't see that, which I didn't, what you want to do is just search for recap 2022 in your Instagram, find someone who has it, watch their reel, and then tap on the template that they use, and it should open up in your reels for you to add clips and whatever to make your own. There are certain songs that you should probably use that other people are using. The one I saw was called Ride on Time, and it seems specifically for the 2022 recap. So if those two aren't bundled together when you select the template, you can always choose that song manually or just pick another song that you think is good. I'll share a link to the instructions for how to do this so you can walk through it and make sure you don't miss anything. But one thing I do think is an interesting twist on this whole recap is that certain templates have narration done by Bad Bunny, Priya Ferguson, DJ Khaled, and Bad Shah. I'm not familiar with who all those people are, but if those people mean something to you and you like having them recap your year, I think it's a cool concept. Nobody asked me who I would want as the voice for recapping my 2022, but the obvious choices would be Morgan Freeman or James Earl Jones. In fact, those are really the only two options in my opinion. I like some DJ Khaled songs, but not enough to have him narrate my 2022. All right. You go ahead and make your own and tag me in it. I want to see how it turns out. There's one other small piece of Instagram news I want to talk about, plus some Twitter news. But first, here's a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by Michigan Economic Development Corporation. In Michigan, you can have both a rewarding career and a quality lifestyle, with plentiful career opportunities in world-changing, innovating industries, from electric vehicles to clean energy to biotech, with room for advancement no matter where you are in your career. Plus, Michigan offers a welcoming, beautiful, affordable, and inclusive community for all. Live your best life. You can in Michigan. Visit themichiganlife.org.
And we're back. Do you remember back in 2019, there was a picture of an egg on Instagram that got 57 million likes? I'm bored already talking about it because it was not an exciting thing, and it was very annoying to have to report on it for several days while the number, it was a whole thing back in 2019. Anyway, Lionel Messi, soccer player, has taken the crown of person with the most like post on Instagram. The pictures he posted after the Argentine team won the 2022 Men's World Cup has racked up 64 million likes. So the egg is no longer the post on Instagram with the most likes. In other news, it seems that Instagram is testing a tool inside the direct messages box to help you track how responsive your business account is. This is an interesting one, similar to what Facebook has today. If you look under the direct message tools, you would see track your responsiveness. Current badge typically replies in minutes. That's a good thing. You want your potential customers to see how responsive you are. Underneath it says, you can build trust with customers by taking a few steps to upgrade to the next responsiveness badge within weeks, and then there's an option to learn more. I'll link to it in the show notes so you can check it out. And lastly, some Twitter news. Elon Musk has been all over the map with what he's been doing to Twitter, but I specifically want to make sure that I cover this story. One of my favorite journalists, she's a writer for the Washington Post, her name is Taylor Lorenz. She was suspended from Twitter on Saturday after asking Twitter CEO Elon Musk for comment on a story. Taylor Lorenz and one of her colleagues tweeted at Musk for an interview after they'd been unable to get in contact with him throughout the week. She later opened Twitter to see a message that she was permanently suspended, although good news, her account is back. Although there is no reason given for the ban, Musk said that the account would be temporarily suspended, quote, due to prior doxing action from the account, end quote. This goes back and forth to the free speech debate, which Twitter has historically supported free speech, but not in all cases. However, Elon Musk seems to be the one who is judging whether or not free speech should be allowed for certain participants. I will link to the story in the show notes so you can check it out, but since I'm always a supporter of Taylor Lorenz, I wanted to make sure that I covered this story. That's going to do it for today's show. Thanks for listening, and be sure to come back tomorrow for more Instagram news.
I'm not yet a member of the Instagram team, but my podcast covers many Instagram themes. But the name, image, logos are trademarks at Instagram and the LCC in the USA and every territory. Everything I publish independently until Zuck returns my DMs and starts to pay my salary. Not sponsored or endorsed, no lies, no fallacies. I use their logo with permission, not malicious or callously. No trademark violation, filling all criteria. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Daniel Hill Media.